What's up, beautiful people? It's your boy Geppetto back in the building. And as you guys can see by the title, I want to talk about Amanda Seales. Amanda Seales is a very polarizing character. Randomly, I logged into my YouTube yesterday and I saw like two or three videos of people going in on Amanda Seales. I don't follow Amanda Seales anymore, but apparently, if y'all, that's my ring light right there. Pardon it, y'all. But apparently, Amanda Seales has been saying that she thinks she's being blackballed by Hollywood, and I guess she had some vulnerability, and some people are taking um the time to relish in that. And I kind of want to give Amanda Seal some advice. I know in this parasocial world where people feel like they know people. Well, let me just give some backstory. Amanda Seales is she's an actress, comedian, content creator. Um, I think at one point she was doing like TV hosting, music. She does a lot, and the sister is talented. I won't take that away from her, and she's also West Indian, so big up yourself. But and as somebody who grew up in the '90s and one of my favorite TV shows of all time, I actually remember Amanda Seales from My Brother and Me. Even though that was a very short-lived sitcom, being a kid in the '90s where it was just like Cousin Skeeter, My Brother and Me, like all those shows, like they hold a special place in my heart. So Amanda Seales was somebody who I would always randomly see. I think I started seeing her pop up on like some stuff on VH1, and then I remember she had, I think, temporarily joined Floetry. So she wasn't necessarily a big star, but and at that time I think she went by Amanda Diva. But I knew who she was. Wasn't necessarily a fan of hers. I thought she was pretty quirky, very intelligent. Cute, light skinned chick. But she wasn't like a star back then. Um, I think around the time when Instagram was really like booming, Amanda Seales has kind of became like a commentator, and like a talking head, and then she kind of started blowing up, and then I remember, I think, seeing something with her, with maybe Bruce Jenner, or I mean, Caitlyn. My bad, Bruce. I mean, Kate. Y'all know what I mean. And it was something, and then like it was just like this momentum, and then I think she got on Insecure, and then boom, Amanda Seales had kind of like blown up. And I was a fan of Amanda Seales. I liked her take on a lot of things. She would give good pop culture critique on certain things, and then after a while, I was like, yeah, this chick is kind of annoying, but I still was supporting her. But then I'm not gonna go into detail, but it was a situation where she had accused a man of something that was really egregious, a black man, and then she kind of like backtracked, and like it was just like she didn't really take accountability, and she was kind of just like moonwalking or whatever the case may be, and I was just like, and it was just like some back to back stuff she was doing that I was just like, I don't like this, like nah. Went ahead and unfollowed her. Wasn't necessarily a fan. I wasn't a fan, but I wasn't like the people who like hated her. Like like literally, I've seen threads where people are just like, I hate Amanda Seales. I hate Amanda Seales. She's this, she's that, whatever. Um, it was a situation where I thought she was talented. I thought she did a great job playing, I think, Tiffany on Insecure. I thought she was smart, but she was just too much for me. Now, what I will say, and I begrudgingly have to admit this, Amanda Seales and I have a very similar personality type. And what I mean by that is when you are innately a person who is smart, quick witted, and I'm talking about like book smart, street smart, um, you pull focus when you walk into a room. You are just like naturally a leader, and you have confidence. Those characteristics added up, you're automatically not going to be liked. There's been quite a few people who said they don't like me, right? I can't stand him. And these are people who I've never had a conversation with. Maybe you have worked with me or you was in school with me. I just naturally am a person who, not on some bossy stuff, even though I am a Leo, but I just naturally am a leader. Whenever there's a group project for school, I would just organically become the leader. I'm not talking about like since I was a kid, I was always like the group leader. Even in my friend circle, not necessarily that I'm bossing my friends around. My friends just view me as like the nucleus, like, yo, he gonna run it. But when you have that type of personality, you quickly realize that no matter how good your heart is, a motherfucker is always not gonna like you. Let me give you some examples to kind of put you into perspective, right? With the exception of math, I never. I'm not a bad student in math, but what I recalled and realized the reason why I just didn't like math was for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm from the Caribbean. I grew up in the Caribbean, and this is like the 90s, 2000s. Our teachers could hit us. And when we were doing math problems in school, like I remember I had one particular teacher, she used to hit us with the paddle if we got the math problem wrong. So I always had like bad anxiety when it came to math. And the thing with me is I would do a math problem correct and then go move on to the second problem. But then my mind would always be like, but is it negative 2.1? So I would go back and redo the problem and I would psych myself out. And another reason why I didn't like math was because like higher level algebra 2 and all that stuff. And I had like really asked a teacher like, can you, I did research on my own and pretty much like higher level math, unless you're trying to be like an engineer or some shit, you don't really apply it to everyday life and it's really just thinking skills. So when I heard that shit, I was just like, well, I don't need all of this. So I kind of just did math the best I could, and but and I was like a B student in math, but every other subject I was like a great student. And I'm somebody who considers myself an academic. Like when I was in college, I was always on the dean's list. I graduated cum laude, and I was also in the honors program. So I'm somebody who loves learning. I love knowledge. I will sit down and read several hours. Um, Let me back that up. I will watch several hours of documentary, but I will sit down and read several scholarly articles on a particular topic. I'm not somebody who is just like, well, I don't know. If I don't know something, I go learn. So when you have that kind of personality and you are very astute to what's going on, and you do kind of like know about different topics, a lot of times people view you as a know-it-all, right? So let's just say in school, when I know teachers like when you sorry y'all, a bunch of people are texting me, and I know teachers when you are in class and they're giving feedback. We've all been in the classroom where the teacher is just talking and the students are just looking at the teacher, right? So especially me, if we're doing like a review and I read the chapter and I know the material and the teacher is like, okay, well, name 3 branches of government. And you look around the classroom, nobody is saying nothing. And I'm like, legislative, judicial, and executive. Teacher is like, cool. Then if the teacher is kind of like, okay, I want y'all to name me the third president or something. I sit down and I'm quiet. I look around. Nobody saying nothing, and I'm like, Thomas Jefferson. Teachers are correct. Even though I'm not doing anything wrong, there's always gonna be a motherfucker in the class to be like, who this nigga think he is? He think he's smarter than us. Blah 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 blah. So I've dealt with that my whole life, right? Even in like friend circles, right? Um, my friends and I link up, and this is just different friend circles I've had. My friends and I link up, and we like, yo, what we gonna eat? What we gonna eat? And we going back and forth for like 10 minutes. Where we gonna eat? And I'm like, all right, why don't we go eat at that Mexican spot, such and such cantina, and we could go there. I heard they got a buy one get one. My friend said, okay, cool, we go. We at the Mexican spot. Shoot, what we doing after this, man? So we all going back and forth. We don't know where to go. We don't know. And I was like, hey, yo, I heard that new reggae spot is cool. We should go to that reggae spot. All my friends like, okay, cool. As much as I'm not coming from a bossy place, because I'm just innately a leader, somebody sometimes in the crew feel like you always running shit, right? And I feel like Amanda Seales and I have that in common, right? Where because it's just your nature to be a leader or whatever, everybody doesn't appreciate that. Your the meaning and the intention was pure, but somebody just don't like your delivery. I done had like that same scenario I said with friends. I had a friend who hated me that I didn't even know. That this nigga was hanging around me and couldn't stand me because he felt like, oh, I was always running stuff. And I was just like, bro, but we sitting here, you know, talking for like 10, 20 minutes. And I just like, oh, yo, let's do this. It's not me trying to tell y'all what to do. It's like, yo, I'm proactive. I'm like, yo, let's get some stuff moving. And when you have that kind of personality, somebody's always not going to like you. Point blank, period. And it really took me a while to understand that, because when people would say they didn't like me, and it's not like, I mean, I have my fair share of haters, but then it was just like, when I was younger, I would always be like, the fuck? I ain't never talked to this person. Like, why this person don't like me? I've never had a conversation. You don't understand. Let me break it to you like this. There's so many people operating in the world in darkness, right? Like literally walking around in darkness. So when you come into the room with 1,000,000-watt energy, people are like, whoa, 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 turn that light down, man. Why you coming in here with all that light? There's a lot of people who are going to dispel the light, and then you're going to have a lot of people who are attracted to the light. So I had to learn that when I walk into rooms, I sometimes come in like a giant. I don't come in there trying to be better than people or whatever. I just naturally walk in because I have high confidence or whatever. And it's been a story my whole life. I've even had people who eventually ended up being cool with me, being like, man, I didn't like your ass. And I'm like, what did I do? Oh, no, you just came in like you the shit. And I was like, but shouldn't you think you're the shit too? So you got to realize when you have that personality type, somebody is always going to have a problem with you. You also have to realize that whenever you're the boss, somebody's always going to be kicking you in. There's no one boss with several employees, because I've worked in management. There's no one boss that all his employees are 100% happy. Because whenever you are the leader, somebody's going to have a problem with you. It might not always be openly discussed, but somebody's going to have a problem with you. You pay your employees a good salary. Well, yeah, he paying us $100,000, but shit, I feel like I should get $200,000. You give your employees an hour-long break. Well, shit, I feel like, we should get a 2-hour break. Somebody's always going to have a problem with you when you're that natural leader. And just basing off of what Amanda Seales portrayed, like I said, I've never met the woman. I think her and I share that. But what I did and I worked on myself, and I think this will help Amanda Seals, is I kind of wrote down 3 things that I've learned to navigate that has allowed me to have better relationships, interpersonal relationships overall with people. Just understanding who I am, not necessarily dimming my light, but kind of like rolling with the punches in certain rooms. Okay, number 1, just because you are right, that doesn't mean you always have to be right. And I say that again, when you're a smart person, you're cerebral, you read a lot, you're very aware of a lot what's going on. Just because you know the answer, that doesn't mean you always have to give an answer. Does that make sense, y'all? I'll give you an example. I'll give you a few examples on this part. When I was in 9th grade, I think, one of the science teachers, she was talking about like reproduction, and she was like, yeah, because God created like Adam and Eve, and like, in nature you need a male and a female to create life. And I know that's not true. You have some animals and organisms that reproduce themselves. You don't necessarily need a male and a female to reproduce. So I raised my hand and I said, well, Miss So-and-so, well, technically that's wrong, because I was a big Discovery Channel watcher when I was a Discovery. I mean, I watched cartoons, but I watched the Discovery Channel, the History Channel, all that stuff. So I said, well, no, these type of organisms and like animals, they reproduce themselves, boom, boom, boom. And I said that. The lady said, get out of my classroom. So I was like, what the hell? So I'm like confidently walking to the principal's office, and I'm like, yo, Miss So-and-so kicked me out of her class for no reason. He asked me what happened, and I said, well, she said this, and that's factually not right. I told her, and and my principal, he just put his hands over his face. And I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? And he was like, you just too smart for your own good. He's like, you can't correct a teacher, especially in front of a class. And I was like, but what she was saying was wrong. And he's like, yeah, but you still can't correct the teacher. And in my young mind, I still didn't understand it. Like, I'm like, but I'm right. I'm right. Like, we can Google it. We can pull up an encyclopedia. And he was like, look, you just can't do that. Before I entered the film industry, I was in the music industry. I was pursuing a musical career. And that's a whole nother video. But then I was really focusing on being a songwriter. So then I had a homegirl who knew a producer. And she said, yeah, I got to introduce you to so-and-so. I'll get y'all on the phone. Like, y'all could link up. Because this guy he was like an up-and-coming producer. So him and I got on the phone. And, no, he had a little bit of success. He wasn't, like, fully up-and-coming. But he had a little bit of success. And I just wanted to write. So him and I get on the phone. We're talking. And a particular song. And this is when, like, Neo and The Dream was big with writing, right? So he names a particular song, and he like, yeah, because Neo wrote, and I like, oh no, Neo didn't write that, such and such wrote that, and he like, nah, Neo wrote that, and I was like, nah, bro, like such and such wrote it, like I'm telling you, like I looked up the lyrics and the production list or whatever, and this dude is being very adamant, like, no, I'm telling you so and so because I know somebody who was in the studio. So I finally went Google and sent him the link, like, yo, I told you such and such wrote it. Neo didn't write it. He like, okay, cool. I want to say like a day later, the mutual homegirl calls me and she's like, yo, what happened on the phone with such and such? And I said, what you mean? We had a good conversation. He like, yo, did y'all get into an argument? I said, well, we didn't get into no argument. Me and homie was just chopping it up. He's like, nah, he said you're like mad combative and argue. And I was like, what? And then that's when it clicked to me that, okay, bruh felt the type of way because I corrected him. And if you guys know, there's certain people, especially people in the entertainment industry, they don't ever like to be wrong. And if they have a little bit of power over you, you just gotta like always like have them win. Again, I was right, but this person viewed me as, difficult because I corrected him. So what I learned to do is that in a lot of situations, I just gotta bite my tongue and I just kind of gotta let people have it. There's several times I'll be in different rooms and I hear somebody talking complete nonsense, and instead of me jumping up and correcting them, I'm just like, word, that's what's up, right? Or I just say yes, because you don't want to be looked at as that difficult person. And there is a game you have to play in life. So I feel like that's a huge problem with Amanda Seales that she could work on. Because I had that problem too, and I corrected it, and I've like made more advancements, and maybe that's something she could work on. Because again, I'm not a part of the people who just hate Amanda Seales. You know what I mean? I'm trying to like, it's so much hate she gets. I'm trying to just give her like a outside perspective on somebody who I feel that I'm similar to. Number two is let others fail and stop being a peacemaker. So again, I was watching something with Amanda Seales where she said she's always like, and me either. I don't like bullies. I don't like people taking advantage of people, and I always speak up. Unfortunately, when you are that person, a lot of times the shit turns around and then you end up looking like the bad guy. So she was saying like in different situations, she speaks up. I guess it was something of, I don't know if she was talking about the insecure setting. She said, hey, everybody in here, she went to a particular person and said, everybody in here is talking about you and I'm giving you the heads up to let you know, boom, 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 boom. And then, she was labeled messy. Same thing has happened to me. Give you a quick stories. In school, when I was in high school, it was a girl that used to sit in one of my classrooms, and everybody in the class used to call her like Dragon Breath and all that stuff. We were cool, but I had never been so close to her to smell her breath. Like before she used to come in, they used to be roasting this girl that, and I'm the type of person, I don't like feeling like motherfuckers got an inside joke on me. So I was just like, man, that's messed up. I took it upon myself to pull the young lady to the side, and I said, hey, I'm gonna tell you something, but please, I don't want you to blow this out of proportion. This is just me giving you some, person to person advice. And I was like, just FYI, I'll be honest with you. And she, she told me, no, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing. And I said, yo, just FYI. A couple of people had mentioned that, like, your breath a little bit, and I said, I know sometimes, shoot, we be eating, we in high school, we be eating chips and whatever in the morning, and I told her, I was like, yo, I bring mints, I bring gum, just just giving you a heads up. She immediately gets mad. Mind you, she done promised me she not gonna say nothing, right? Who said it? Who said it? And I was like, well, you told me you didn't, I told you I'm not gonna call no names. I just wanted to have that person-to-person conversation with you. She gets so mad. Nah, blah, 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 blah. The next day in class, she comes in and she's like, who been saying my breath stink? Who been saying my breath stinks? And just like life will have it, nobody owns up to it. So then I think she eventually pulled somebody to the side. Mind you, she pulled the main person who was saying her breath stink to the side. The person denies it and then flips it and said, well, I think G said that. So she comes to me like, oh, everybody's saying they not saying that, and so you must have made it up. I'm like, what? So because I did a good deed, I'm the bad guy. Another quick situation. Y'all know I work in the entertainment industry. Another friend of mine who is a filmmaker, we were cool, and then I met up with this entity, a company that my friend was supposed to work with. The company didn't know that this person was my friend. So I'm talking to the people in the company, and they're pretty much telling me like, yeah, they are about to work with this person, but give or take, let's say this person could really charge, like, make $10,000 from this thing, but they're saying they're only going to offer the person like $500 or $1,000, right? They're telling me they're going to finesse this person, blah, blah, blah. Again, they don't know I'm friends with the person. So I go to the person and I say, yo, FYI, please don't say nothing. I met up with these people. I know you about to work with them. Just, yo, you really could get paid $10,000. Don't take anything less than $10,000. So, woo, 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 woo. Don't say my name, whatever, whatever. My friend was like, cool, got you, appreciate you. A few days later, the company calls me. Somebody like, yo, did you tell so and so about what we told you about? So I'm like, huh? They're like, yeah, because so and so said that you told them. I was like, nah, I don't recall. And I'm trying to backtrack because I ain't trying to get caught up. And they was like, yeah, no. They specifically said you told them. So I'm like, damn, my friend done threw me under the bus. So I called my friend like, yo, fam, like, what did you say? I told you not to say something. I came to you as a bro, like looking out for you. Oh man, look, man, I didn't mean to say it, but you know, I felt like they kept playing in my face, and I just had to say, man, like, yo, G told me, and like, I know that nigga don't lie, so yeah, I just said it, and da 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 da. So I said, so even though I came to you, looking out for you, you threw me under the bus, right? And now I'm looking crazy to them. My bad, my bad. So I feel like that's something Amanda Seales does. And honestly, Amanda, I'm gonna be real with you, mommy. You gotta you gotta stop being a peacemaker. Like, you might wanna save everybody. You cannot save everybody. You gotta sometimes let motherfuckers crash and burn. And you just gotta keep your mouth quiet. The last thing, Amanda Seales gets paid for being like a talking head. She's a social commentator or whatever, right? Even though she might be different, very much in the vein of like Wendy Williams, academics, and all those people. When your full-time job is having an opinion about stuff, you have to understand that people are just not going to like you. As much as Wendy Williams was this big force, a lot of people may have fucked with Wendy Williams, the salacious person, and whatever, the salaciousness and the hot topic and the messiness, but they didn't fuck with Wendy as a person. So you got to understand, when you are giving opinions, and again, you might be writing your opinions and you talking about black men or the Jussie Smollett things, which was a crazy take, Amanda. I hope you still don't believe that a hoax was justified. That was stupid as fuck. But when you have those opinions, somebody is always not gonna like you. And I don't know if, because you're a brilliant actress, I think you write really well. I think you're a good comic. The amount of hate you get, I think it might be time to fall back a little bit from the social commentary in the sense of like pop culture shit, because you just kind of rack up enemies. And when you're somebody that's already not liked and you constantly giving your opinions on top of that, motherfuckers are just gonna find a way to dislike you. So again, Amanda, like I said, I feel like we have similarities, but with therapy and me growing up, I just learned that in certain ways I do have to play the game a little different. That's why, I feel like now I'm a lot more likable. I'm still not saying I don't have haters, but I'm a lot more likable now, and I just know how to pick and choose when I, fully turn my light on in situations, and when I do have to kind of fall back, because as much as people say it, motherfuckers cannot handle honesty. And when you are around insecure people, insecurity will always have you looking crazy as a confident person. So again, Amanda Seales, this video is not to bash you. I know there's like literally several videos. I had even typed in like, don't like Amanda Seales on Twitter, and it was just tons and tons of tweets. And I'm not going to be that person. Even though I don't follow you, I'm going to send you some love, because like I said, I just want you to win, mommy. I feel like you're talented. I feel like you're smart. And you are a good example to black women and black girls. But anyway, y'all, what y'all think about Amanda Seales? Do you think she's justified in all the hate she gets? Leave a comment, share, subscribe. And Amanda Seales, if you ever see this, hit me up, man. We could, create some stuff together. It's your boy Geppetto. Talk to y'all later. Peace.